Well, hello peeps, how's it going? Hillbilly Half with you today. Where has all the wisdom gone, eh? So, next week the Labour Party conference is starting, and it's full of academic people and lots of people who've got lots of qualifications, but they've got no wisdom at all. The wisdom has gone because they don't really think about the people who they're trying to run these days. They don't think about them at all. They only think about their progress up the greasy ladder. That's all they think of. So, Farmers to Action are going there. It's a bit different this time. That group isn't so much attached to Farmers Union, so I wish them well. They've been taking trailers all around the UK to go to Liverpool tomorrow. Monday. For basically a protest against Keir Starmer and that lot at the Labour conference. But I will say this, I wish them really well. Sorry, I can't get hold of the camera still today. Let me just get this a bit better. Still haven't had my iPhone, it's been nicked by the way. I wish them all well, and it's a lot of hard work gone into it. I can't fault them on it, but as you know, I'm one of these people who thinks protests don't do a lot. When you see that there was 1 million people marching 3 weeks ago, and they just ignored it and said there was only 100,000 there, that's what will happen. And I don't take this as negative because I hope it works. But they just create their own narrative. But where has all the wisdom gone? Now, I think we've got a world, really, that's not being run by wise people. And that is the problem. And people no longer think of what can we do for the people to help them. What they think is, what can we do to the people to help me and my party? That is the problem. And I think that's the same with the civil service in the UK. They no longer think unbiased. So what they should be saying, if somebody says some policy, they should be saying, well, that's going to hurt a certain section of society. And you shouldn't be doing that because it's X or Y. That no longer is being said. These think tanks have got these policies and they're designed to hurt one section of society. Like this farming policy from the Labour Party. Make no mistake, it's been designed by the civil service to hurt all farmers, and it's simple as that. And they think that the farming community has had too much money over the few decades, and some have, to be fair. Some of the larger farms have been, in certain situations, have been creaming it in, but the reality is the vast majority of them haven't been only just meeting the breadline like poorer people in society. So somebody should have said when they were doing this policy, that's not really fair, is it? Because they do produce food for the population. And if something happens to the farming community, you're going to lose all that wisdom, aren't you? That's just learnt over the years. And the main piece of wisdom in farming that seems to be forgotten these days is you've got to feed the land for it to feed you. So if you take some kind of a crop off, you've got to put that back. Some of them nutrients or whatever. And when you're skint like me, it's a job. I try my best every year, but it is a real job to put all them nutrients back to make it grow properly for the next time. And you'll get these new bods, they'll be saying, oh, we got to do with this regenerative agriculture. And they're forgetting about the real key to agriculture is getting something to feed something to produce a product. What they really want to do is to leave all this ground fallow with nothing on it, and then they only want to produce stuff on real good agricultural land. That's what is in their heads. They've decided that. That's what is their decision. And I've been saying it for years, that the farming community, especially stock farming community, are in complete denial at what the civil service and governments from the Western world are doing. They want us all off meat because they think it's cruel. That is what it's all about. These policies are designed to make all stock farmers go bankrupt, especially in Wales. They want the hills to be all national parks, and they don't want the indigenous people who've been there for generations and generations having anything to do with it, because they just want these little bods coming out of university, being paid £50,000 to £60,000 to march around telling everybody what to do. And then they want you to be... You'll find after a while of this, after about 10 years of it, they'll start stopping the public onto these areas. Then you'll have to pay to go on these areas which are common land. You watch. Seen it all happen before. Seen it up the valley here. My dad always used to tell me anything that wasn't fenced was common land, basically, up here, up the Elan Valley. And these fences just appear every decade to fence this little bit off, and then the Welsh Water can claim a bit more of a scheme on that ground. And once it's been there for 12 years, it's claimed as theirs. That's what happens. That's what happens on the hills. If you go up the Elan Valley, you can see it, and the Clearing Valley, you see it everywhere. There's a thing up here now where they have had 20 million to do this new environmental thing up here for the rainforest. What it really is, it's about fencing off huge areas to stop stock in there, and then they can claim huge amounts of money on fenced in areas that have been shut off. That's all it is. So they've been given millions so they can claim more millions and to keep us out. People just don't get it. They do not get what's going on. So, you'll have loads of rangers up here. They'll be on 50,000 each, 50 to 30,000 each. Basically there to tell you not to go and only go where you're supposed to, wood boy. You're only supposed to there, you do not go there because the government says. And then you'll have your little ID card as soon as you walk through that door, like an ear tag on a sheep. They'll say, oh, you can't come in here. You haven't paid your council tax. Or you've said some bad stuff. You can't come in here. Or if you go on a march, say you went on that London march a couple of weeks back, what they'll have is they'll have them little wands on the side of the pavement, and as all them people walk by, they'll be counting them all. Who are they? What are they doing here? Who are they working for? If you're working for the civil service, you'll have a warning. You should not be walking on them far-right marches, even though they weren't far-right. That's what it's all designed to do. Designed to scare us all into submission. And I'll be the first on the chopping block, won't I? For speaking up. And where has all the wisdom gone, eh? Where has all the wisdom gone? All I believe in is old school, basically religious values of family. Do not hurt anybody if you can't. If you can do your best not to. Stick up for yourself. And secure borders, that's all it is really. But if you believe in them things these days, you're apparently right wing. So the best people they want is these people that they can walk all over. And them are the type of the people that were in Belsen concentration camp and things like that, where they were their own, chucking their own side into the kilns. That's what we got now. The people who are running the UK are and the civil service in the UK are basically the people who were chucking their own Jewish people into the kilns to keep themselves alive. That's what's going on. That is what's going on. And if you speak up against it, they think, oh God, I better stop this now, or I could end up in a pickle here. So that's what they do. That's what they do. And years ago, there'd be the wise old people in Parliament speaking up about this, and they'd be saying, look, I've been to war, I don't want to go to war again. And the problem is now, if you don't know, before World War II, when Churchill spoke up, we didn't have any armaments or anything, very much like now. We did have money, but we didn't have a lot of armament. And it took a couple of years to build it all up. And that's what's going on now. They're literally, the Labour Party and the Conservative Party and the Liberals, they're getting factories to build all this stuff now ready for war. And if you don't think that's right, you are in denial. Because the only way they can stop reform is to go to war with Russia. And here's my prediction. I think this wise old head here thinks that's the plan all along. Put this man in charge and nobody can remove him for 5 years, really. He is on a sticky wicket with his own lot, but I don't think they'll remove him. Go to war, and then they'll push anti-Russian propaganda against Farage. And that is their plan, I think, really. So, there we are. That's my one for today. Where's all the wise people gone? The people who have learned through mistakes and who actually decided to change something back to what was wrong. It's like the people now, isn't it? When you hear this thing, if you don't know, I've got quite bad eyesight, especially when it goes dusk. I'm literally blind then. And in my area, everybody says to save money on the council, turn the lights off. So first of all, the street lights, they changed them to LED because it'll cost less money. And they said, yeah, we'll change them to LED. And then we can have them on longer because you'll save money, it won't cost as much. Council tax didn't go down. Then that went to turning every other light off. That'll save us money. How the fuck is somebody like me supposed to see where they're going? And now they turn them all down low. So it's hardly any light at all. It's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. And I know I always keep on about this, but the toilets. Toilets is a human right for any person. And you have to pay to go in the toilet. And from now on, if you go to these things, if these cards come in, every time you go to the toilet, bing. They show exactly where you were. That's what it's all about, people. Control. The year tag is, and the identity card is to show who owns us. That's all it is. Who owns us? Just like I put a tag on a sheep to say who owns the sheep. So I'll leave it for that for now. So all the best. Please go down there, subscribe, because YouTube have really been playing with me the last few days. They don't like the last couple of videos. So all the best, guys.